As far as people that invest and build for the future, the question is why they're doing it. There are certain people that have to plan for the future, either because they have a lot of assets or a lot of responsibilities and different people depending on them. And there are people that really shouldn't do it and should invest more time in there today. It all depends on the person and what HaKadosh Baruch Hu gifted the person with. But I can tell you this. The Gemara in Masechet Brachot has Rabbi Eliezer ben Horkonos talk about people that have lack of emunah, where they worry constantly about tomorrow, having food tomorrow, even though they already have food today. And a lot of people like that today. They're very worried about tomorrow. And that's why they plan. They want to have a certain bank account and a certain insurance policy and a certain all types of different things to plan for tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow, and they never really get to enjoy today. So he says people that are worried about tomorrow when they have something today, it's people that have small emunah, because if Hashem gave you money today, I'll give you money tomorrow. Why are you so worried? So if what you're planning is due to worries, then it's the wrong type of planning. On the other hand, people that are planning, that they say, no, I just want to have things ready for, because I want to have retirement and I want to live comfortably. It's I want to have my house and I want to go, do all types of other things. It's also wrong. Why? Because delusional thinking. The king of the demons, Ashmedai was his name, and he got caught by Shlomo Melech. Shlomo Melech wanted to get a certain type of worm in order to cut the stones in the Bet HaMikdash. It's a shamir worm, and only this Ashmedai knew where this worm is. So Shlomo Melech sent Benayahu to go catch him. Benayahu was very, very smart, and he caught him in a very clever way. He knew where he drinks his water in a certain well, and he replaced the well with wine. And long story short is he caught this king of the demons. Now how do you catch such a powerful person, such a powerful being? He put him in chains, and then he put the real name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu on him. And he said, as soon as he put it on him, he says, the name of your master is on you, you're not allowed to move. And he had to listen to it. So now he takes him in chains all the way back to Shlomo Melech. But on the way, Benayahu sees that this king of the demons laughs. He's laughing. Now he got instructions from Shlomo, don't talk to him. Why? He's dangerous, don't talk to him. So when he got back to the kingdom, Benayahu told him, listen, I don't know, you told me not to talk to him, so I didn't talk to him. But I don't know, he was laughing. Like when we passed by this place, he started laughing like a crazy, I don't know why he was laughing so much. Shlomo Melech says, okay, let me find out. Shlomo Melech goes to this king of the demons. He goes, okay, look, why were you laughing? It's funny things. I see funny things. Wait, what's so funny? He says, no, because we passed by the store, and I was able to hear what's going on in the store. The guy in the store went into the store. He had some money with him. He saved some money. He says, listen, I want you to make me shoes. They're going to last me for years. I want the shoes. I'm going to pay all this extra money for the shoes. Lots of money for the shoes. I want the shoe to last me, 7 or 10 years, like a long, long time. Guaranteed, because you're going to put all this extra material in them and so on and so forth. Make it the best shoe in the world. So Shlomo Melech says to him, why is that funny? He says, because the guy doesn't realize he doesn't even have a week to live. He's spending all this money to have a shoe that's going to last him for 70 years. In Shemaim, they already decreed he's going to die at the end of the week. Shemaim decreed. So that's the thing. If a person is planning because he wants to have a nice retirement and he wants to have a nice vacation house and he forgot the purpose of this world, it's wasting his time. It's wasting his time. He doesn't realize that who guaranteed him tomorrow. Part of the reason why I make sure that every one of my lectures has at least one bomb in it. One thing that's very hard for people to accept, but it's 100% true and important. One of the reasons is because I don't know if I'm ever going to see you again. I don't know if I'm ever going to see you again. I don't know if I'm going to be alive. I don't know if you're going to be alive. I don't know anything. All I know is that right now we have an opportunity. We have an opportunity. Kadosh Baruch Hu made our path come to the same place. Whether you're on the internet or you're in front of me, whatever it is, Kadosh Baruch Hu gave me one chance with you. Now it could be that it could be like Betzalel that I know him for 10 years already, and B'ezrat Hashem we learn for another 20 years. But it could be that it could be one more time. Who knows? So I know that I have one chance with every single person. So that one chance, I want to make sure that that person has at least something to take home. Something to take home that can impact their life in a positive way. That they're not going to go up to Shamayim and say, no, did you go to Yaron Reuven's shiur? Yeah, what'd you learn there? Nothing. He was just talking about baseball. He made me laugh, jokes. Oh, okay, you know what? Bring Yaron over here. Let us talk to him what kind of lectures he's giving. I don't want that. I want you guys to go up to Shamayim and say, you know what? Changed my life. I learned about cash advance. I wasn't even in the business, but I hated it more than anything else. You know, like it's Baruch Hashem, you took something and impacted you. Okay, so that's the thing. You have to look at things that way. You have to look at things that you have limited amount of opportunities with certain things. So if a person is looking at life in such a fashion where you have today you have to learn as much as possible. You have to do as many mitzvot as possible. You have to do as much good as possible today. Don't worry so much about what's going to happen in 20 years from now, because you don't even know if you're going to be here in 20 years from now. So that's for the average person. There are some people that HaKadosh Baruch Hu simply blessed them with an extraordinary amount of wealth or responsibility or both. Either they're connected to a lot of people or they're responsible for a lot of people, or they simply have an extraordinary amount of wealth where they have to plan. Not because they're afraid of the future or anything like that, but because it would be irresponsible for them to leave whatever they've built, whatever HaKadosh Baruch Hu blessed them with, in nobody's hands. One of the mistakes that certain people have made in their life is not actually making a plan, a continuation plan of what would happen after they leave. In Chabad, for example, the Rebbe, the Lubavitcher Rebbe, and the 6 Rebbes that lived before him, they're all great Rebbes, they're all great Chachamim, they all knew a lot of good things, but the Rebbe didn't leave anybody that after him. For whatever reason he decided, or somebody decided that he's going to be the last one, we see the significant change in Chabad since for the first time in history they don't have a leader. The first 7 Rebbes, you saw Chabad continued to grow, do good things, do a lot of amazing things. Now yes, they still do some good things today, but you also see that there's a lot of stuff that's completely unorthodox. That if the Rebbe was still alive or somebody would replace him, they certainly wouldn't stand for it. So the continuation plan is a necessary thing for certain people. It's a responsible thing for certain people to do. So for such people, you need to do it. Now we're not questioning anybody and why and who and what they did, but we're just seeing facts for what they are. And it's important for each one of us to know that for your average person, the last part is simply not relevant. The last part is simply not relevant. The most they can do is maybe get themselves a life insurance policy so their family can have enough money to bury them and, live without their income for a certain amount of time. They can do that. The estate planning and the portfolio and all of that trust and all that stuff is simply a waste of money, waste of time, and simply doesn't affect anyone. I dealt with the money business. I was in the money business for almost 20 years. Most people, what they plan, the trust, and all of those retirement plans, all that stuff, nobody uses it. The kids simply take the money out and they do whatever they want with it. Nobody follows the trust, nobody follows anything. Unless there's a huge amount of fortune that they simply can't get access to unless they follow a certain amount of plan. And that's usually not possible unless you have a lot of money. So most people, they're in the first 2 categories. Some people are in the third one. But either way, a person needs to know that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the one that runs the world. Regardless of whether you have money or you don't have money, you have a responsibility in this world to do the best that you possibly can with whatever tools that Hashem gave you. And it's not just if the Mashiach comes tomorrow, because death can happen before the Mashiach. And I know that a lot of people like to think, I'm gonna, maybe the Mashiach is gonna come tomorrow, I'm gonna live to see the Mashiach, and that's all great, but it's more likely that, most people will die well before the Mashiach comes. Or simply die when the Mashiach comes. So that's a more realistic point of view. And death in this world is not death. It's just simply you're changing clothes and you're going to a permanent world, and that world has the consequences of whatever actions you've made during this life. person works for a company. At the end of the week or the month, he gets a certain paycheck. The paycheck is dependent on the amount of work. Same thing with this life. Person works in this life, X amount of years that Hashem gives him, and has a certain payment that they get for that work. And that's really the way that a person should look at things, based on just their life, not necessarily depend everything on Mashiach, just simply because when we put too much on a Mashiach as far as having a date, it could work the opposite way, where subconsciously a person could have a date in their mind and say, oh, Mashiach is going to come on such and such date and such time, and by the time I'm 30 years old, and he's now 20. 30 years old seems like a long time for him, because 10 years. So it seems like, so 10 years from now, Mashiach is going to come for sure. It's during my lifetime, I'm 30, and to him it seems like a lot of time. Now I can assure you that by the time you're 30 years old, 10 years is not a lot of time anymore. By the time you're 40 years old, 10 years is like nothing. By the time you're 60, 70 years old, 10 years is like yesterday. So time changes, but when you're 20 years old, 10 years seems like a lot of time. So that's the thing, you can't put too much on Mashiach dates. There's a crazy guy that lives in Israel, he calls himself a rabbi, in reality he's a tractor driver. That's really what he did. No, he really is a tractor driver. Rabbi Tzapi did a whole shiur about him. He's a tractor driver, but he became a rabbi. And he poses as if he's the Mashiach, or he knows all these dates. He just came out with a video a few days ago saying that Mashiach is going to come within the next couple of months, on Rosh Hashanah. He's coming in Rosh Hashanah. So hold your breath, Mashiach is coming on Rosh Hashanah. This is not his only prophecy. He's had other prophecies that are all nonsense too. So that's the thing. It's when you put too much focus on any one thing, it could turn into fanaticism and it could turn into something bad. Mashiach is important, but we didn't come to this world just for the sake of Mashiach. He's one of the things that exists. We came to this world to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu, with or without living in a time of Mashiach. And it's important that when you give some of this answer to the people that you're asking it for, you don't poise it for just telling them because if Mashiach can come tomorrow or not come tomorrow. You should poise it in a way where you say, listen, you don't know how long you're going to live. Because some people, they don't believe in Mashiach. Or they don't believe that Mashiach is going to come anytime soon. Why? Because they say, listen, he hasn't come in 2,000 years. Why should he come now? But if you tell them, listen, you could die any day, everybody believes in that. Why? Because everybody saw somebody die. The older you get, the more people you get to see that die. So I think that's more of a point that will hit home with more people than the Mashiach aspect of it.